Have you ever felt a twinge of fatigue you couldn't explain, stumbled on a loose rug, or brushed off a moment of loneliness, thinking it's just part of growing older? These seemingly small moments could be your body's quiet cry for help, warnings that, if ignored, might steal the vibrant years you deserve. We're uncovering 8 dangerous habits seniors over 65 must avoid to protect their health, independence, and joy. From silent symptoms to hidden home hazards, these lessons come straight from the wisdom of those who've learned the hard way. Stay with me until the end, because one simple change you'll discover could be the key to thriving in your golden years, ensuring you live not just longer, but better. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. Ignoring subtle symptoms. The silent cry of your body. Margaret, a lively 70-year-old grandmother from Ohio, was the heart of her community, baking pies for neighbors, tending her vibrant garden, and chasing after her energetic grandchildren. But over a few months, she noticed a creeping sense of exhaustion. Tasks that once felt effortless, like weeding her flower beds or climbing the stairs, left her winded. She occasionally felt dizzy when standing up, and her ankles began to swell slightly by evening. It's just part of getting older, she told herself, dismissing the signs as inevitable wear and tear. She didn't want to bother her doctor with what seemed like minor complaints. But those subtle symptoms were her body's desperate attempt to sound an alarm. 6 months later, a routine visit to her primary care physician revealed a devastating diagnosis: early-stage heart failure. Had she acted sooner, medication and lifestyle changes could have slowed the progression, preserving her vitality for years to come. As we age, our bodies communicate differently. After 65, the signals of distress become quieter, more insidious. Symptoms like persistent fatigue, shortness of breath, mild swelling in the extremities, or even occasional memory lapses aren't always benign hallmarks of aging. According to the National Institute on Aging, these could be early indicators of serious conditions such as congestive heart failure, chronic kidney disease, hypothyroidism, or even the onset of dementia. For instance, heart failure affects over 6 million Americans, with seniors being the most vulnerable group, yet its early symptoms, fatigue and swelling, are often mistaken for normal aging. Similarly, kidney function declines naturally with age, but subtle signs like swelling or changes in urination can point to chronic kidney disease, which affects 37 million U.S. adults, many undiagnosed until late stages. The danger lies in the delay. Seniors who ignore these whispers risk irreversible damage, loss of independence, or even premature death. Margaret's story is far from unique. Studies show that older adults are 40% more likely to downplay symptoms compared to younger individuals, often due to a mix of stoicism, fear of medical intervention, or misconceptions about aging. The National Institutes of Health emphasizes that early detection through regular screenings can prevent or manage conditions before they escalate. For example, a simple blood test can reveal thyroid dysfunction, which affects 1 in 10 seniors and can mimic normal fatigue. Similarly, routine blood pressure and cholesterol checks can catch cardiovascular risks early, potentially averting heart attacks or strokes, which remain the leading causes of death for those over 65. What to do instead? Proactive health management is your best defense. Schedule annual wellness exams, including comprehensive screenings like blood pressure, cholesterol panels, kidney function tests, e.g., creatinine and eGFR, and thyroid panels. Don't wait for symptoms to become unbearable. Report anything unusual, no matter how minor it seems. Persistent fatigue, swelling, shortness of breath, memory lapses, or even vague discomfort warrants a conversation with your doctor. To prepare, try journaling your symptoms for 7 to 14 days, noting their frequency, duration, and triggers, e.g., felt dizzy after standing up, lasted 10 seconds, happened 3 times this week. This can help your physician identify patterns and order targeted tests, such as an echocardiogram for heart issues or a cognitive assessment for memory concerns. If you're hesitant to seek care, enlist a trusted friend or family member to advocate for you. Early intervention can mean the difference between managing a condition with medication and facing invasive procedures or long-term disability. By listening to your body's whispers, you're investing in a future of independence, energy, and joy. 2. Overdoing exercise. When zeal outpaces wisdom. John, a 68-year-old retiree from Colorado, had always been an athlete at heart. In his 40s, he ran marathons, and even in his 60s, he prided himself on staying active. After retiring, he decided to reclaim his youthful vigor, inspired by fitness influencers on social media. He joined a local gym and dove into an ambitious routine: heavy weightlifting sessions, high-intensity interval training, HIIT, and daily treadmill runs at a punishing pace. For a few weeks, he felt invincible. But one afternoon, mid-squat, a sharp, searing pain shot through his right knee. He limped off the gym floor, hoping it was a minor tweak. Days later, the pain persisted, and an MRI delivered the bad news: a torn meniscus, a critical piece of cartilage in his knee. Surgery was required, followed by months of physical therapy and a painful hiatus from the activities he loved. John's enthusiasm had outstripped his body's capacity, a costly lesson in the realities of aging. Aging changes the body's resilience in profound ways. After 65, muscles lose mass and strength, a condition called sarcopenia, bones become less dense, increasing fracture risk, and joints lose cartilage, making them more prone to injury. Ligaments and tendons also become less elastic, raising the risk of strains or tears. High-impact exercises, like running on hard surfaces, heavy weightlifting, or aggressive HIIT, can exacerbate these vulnerabilities. The American Heart Association reports that seniors face a 20% higher risk of exercise-related injuries compared to adults under 50, with common issues including stress fractures, ligament tears, and joint damage. Moreover, intense exercise can strain the cardiovascular system, especially in those with undiagnosed heart conditions. A 2021 study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that seniors who engage in inappropriate exercise regimens are 30% more likely to require medical intervention for injuries, often sidelining them for months and eroding their confidence. John's mistake wasn't his commitment to fitness. Exercise is a cornerstone of healthy aging, but his failure to adapt to his body's evolving needs. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, recommends 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity per week for adults over 65, plus muscle-strengthening exercises twice weekly. However, the emphasis is on moderation and safety. High-impact activities can be replaced with gentler alternatives that deliver similar benefits without the risks. For example, swimming and water aerobics provide cardiovascular and strength benefits while cushioning joints. Tai Chi and yoga improve balance, flexibility, and core strength, reducing the risk of falls, which are a leading cause of injury in seniors. Brisk walking, ideally 30 minutes daily, boosts heart health and mood with minimal strain. What to do instead? Redefine fitness as sustainability, not intensity. Start by consulting a healthcare provider or physical therapist to assess your current fitness level and any underlying conditions, such as arthritis or hypertension. A physical therapist can design a personalized exercise plan that balances cardiovascular health, strength, flexibility, and balance. Prioritize low-impact activities. Swim for 30 minutes 3 times a week, try a beginner Tai Chi class, or walk briskly in a park or on a treadmill with a slight incline. If you enjoy strength training, use lighter weights with higher repetitions, focusing on form to avoid injury. Incorporate balance exercises, like standing on one leg for 10 seconds, to prevent falls. Always warm up for 5 to 10 minutes and cool down to protect muscles and joints. Listen to your body. If you feel pain, not just discomfort, stop and reassess. Consistency trumps heroics. A steady routine of moderate exercise will keep you strong, mobile, and independent for years. John eventually returned to the gym, but now he sticks to cycling and bodyweight exercises, a wiser approach that keeps him active without breaking him down. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. 3. Skipping strength training. The fall that changed everything. At 72, Clara was the epitome of independence. A vibrant woman who cherished her daily routines in her cozy, flower-filled home. She moved with purpose, tending to her garden, cooking hearty meals, and hosting weekly card games with neighbors. But one autumn afternoon, a seemingly trivial misstep on a loose rug in her living room sent her crashing to the hardwood floor. The sharp pain in her hip was immediate, and the diagnosis was devastating: a fractured hip. What followed was a grueling 6-month journey through surgery, physical therapy, and a profound loss of confidence. Clara, once fearless, now hesitated to walk across her own home, haunted by the fear of falling again. Her orthopedic surgeon delivered a sobering insight: Clara's weak muscles were a major contributor to her fall. Decades of neglecting strength training had quietly eroded her muscle mass, leaving her vulnerable. Clara hadn't noticed the gradual decline, her legs feeling heavier, her balance less steady, until it was too late. According to the National Institute on Aging, muscle mass declines by 3 to 5% per decade after age 65, a condition known as sarcopenia. This loss weakens the body's ability to stabilize itself, making falls more likely. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related deaths among seniors, with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, reporting that over 36,000 older adults die annually from fall-related injuries. Clara's accident wasn't just bad luck. It was a stark warning that her body could no longer support her active lifestyle without intervention. The consequences of her fall rippled beyond physical pain. Clara's independence, her sense of self, took a hit. She relied on her daughter for daily tasks, and the vibrant card games stopped. Yet, her recovery wasn't just about healing her hip, it was about rebuilding her strength and confidence. Her physical therapist introduced her to strength training, something Clara initially dismissed as for bodybuilders. She learned that even modest exercises could make a difference. Now, Clara dedicates 10 minutes each morning to a routine of chair squats, light dumbbell lifts, and balance drills like standing on one leg while holding her kitchen counter. These small, consistent efforts have restored her stability and, more importantly, her belief in herself. She's back to hosting card games, her laughter filling the house again. What to do instead? To prevent falls and maintain independence, incorporate strength training into your routine at least twice a week. You don't need a gym. Simple tools like light weights, even water bottles work, resistance bands, or bodyweight exercises are effective. Try chair squats to strengthen your legs, wall push-ups for upper body strength, or heel-to-toe walking to improve balance. Balance exercises are equally critical. Practice standing on one leg for 10 to 20 seconds per side, or try Tai Chi, which studies show reduces fall risk by up to 50%. Start slowly, ideally under the guidance of a physical therapist or certified trainer familiar with senior fitness. Consistency matters more than intensity. Clara's daily 10-minute sessions prove that small steps can prevent life-altering falls. If you're unsure where to begin, ask your doctor for a referral to a physical therapist or check community centers for senior exercise classes. Your muscles are your body's armor. Strengthen them to stay steady. 4. Neglecting mental health. The loneliness that steals joy. Henry, at 75, was once the heart of every family gathering, his booming voice weaving tales of his Navy days or his adventures fishing with his grandchildren. His warmth drew people in, and his wife, Margaret, was his perfect partner in their lively social life. But after Margaret's passing from cancer 2 years ago, Henry's world dimmed. He stopped attending his weekly coffee meetups with friends, let his beloved woodworking hobby lapse, and declined invitations to family dinners. His children noticed the change. His stories grew rare, his laughter forced, his once bright eyes clouded with a quiet sadness. Concerned, they urged him to see a therapist, who diagnosed clinical depression, a condition Henry hadn't even considered. He'd assumed his withdrawal was just part of getting older. Loneliness and grief hit harder after 65, when life transitions, retirement, loss of loved ones, or declining mobility can erode social connections. The National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, estimates that 20% of seniors face mental health challenges, including depression, anxiety, or even cognitive decline exacerbated by isolation. Yet stigma often keeps seniors silent. Many, like Henry, view emotional struggles as a personal failing rather than a treatable health issue. Untreated mental health conditions have far-reaching consequences. Depression can sap energy, disrupt sleep, and weaken the immune system, increasing susceptibility to illness. A 2020 study in The Lancet linked prolonged loneliness to a 26% higher risk of premature death. Henry's withdrawal wasn't just sadness. It was a health crisis threatening his vitality and longevity. Henry's turning point came when his therapist encouraged him to reconnect with activities that once brought him joy. He picked up his paintbrushes, a hobby he'd shared with Margaret, and joined a local art class for seniors. The act of creating, blending colors, shaping landscapes on canvas, became a lifeline, offering solace and a renewed sense of purpose. The class also introduced him to new friends, and their shared stories of loss and resilience helped Henry feel less alone. He now attends a monthly grief support group, where he's learned that healing doesn't mean forgetting Margaret but honoring her memory through living fully. His children see the spark returning, his laughter genuine again. What to do instead? Prioritize mental health with the same urgency as physical health. Stay connected to others, even when it feels hard. Call a friend weekly, join a book club, or volunteer at a local charity. Social engagement boosts mood and cognitive function. A 2021 study found that seniors with strong social networks have a 50% lower risk of depression. If grief or loneliness feels overwhelming, consider therapy. Many therapists specialize in senior issues, and telehealth makes access easier. Support groups, whether for grief or general mental health, provide a safe space to share. If medication like antidepressants is recommended, discuss the benefits and risks with your doctor. Rediscover hobbies or try new ones. Painting, gardening, or even learning a musical instrument can rekindle joy. Henry's story shows that nurturing your mind is as vital as caring for your heart. If you're struggling, reach out. Help is available through NAMI's helpline, 1-800-950-NAMI, or your primary care provider. You're not alone, and your joy is worth fighting for. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. 5. Over-relying on medications. The pill trap. Susan, 69, was diligent about her health, or so she thought. Each morning, she lined up 7 prescription bottles on her kitchen counter. Pills for blood pressure, cholesterol, arthritis pain, insomnia, and more. She trusted her doctor implicitly, never questioning the growing list. But over time, she began to feel off, her mind foggy, her energy sapped, her legs unsteady. A routine checkup revealed the culprit. Her medications were interacting in dangerous ways, causing side effects like dizziness and cognitive impairment. Susan had unwittingly fallen into the polypharmacy trap, a common but under-recognized risk for seniors. Polypharmacy, taking 5 or more medications, afflicts nearly 40% of older adults, according to the Mayo Clinic. While medications can be life-saving, the risks escalate with each additional drug. Aging bodies metabolize medications differently. Kidney and liver function decline, slowing drug clearance and amplifying side effects. Drug interactions can cause falls, confusion, or even life-threatening complications like internal bleeding. Susan's blood pressure medication, for instance, clashed with her pain reliever, causing dizziness that increased her fall risk. Her trust in her doctor was well-placed, but her blind reliance on pills without regular review cost her clarity and vitality. Susan's wake-up call prompted action. She scheduled a comprehensive medication review with her pharmacist, who worked with her doctor to streamline her regimen. 2 medications were discontinued, one was no longer necessary, and another's risks outweighed its benefits. A third was switched to a safer alternative with fewer side effects. Susan also adopted lifestyle changes, like a heart-healthy diet and gentle yoga, to manage her blood pressure and arthritis naturally. Within weeks, her mind felt sharper, her energy returned, and she felt empowered to take charge of her health. Knowledge, not more pills, restored her balance. What to do instead? Treat medications as tools, not a cure-all, and stay proactive to avoid the polypharmacy trap. Schedule an annual medication review with your doctor or pharmacist, ideally a geriatric specialist familiar with senior care. Bring a complete list of your medications, including over-the-counter drugs, supplements, and vitamins, to every appointment. Ask pointed questions. Do I still need this medication? Are there safer alternatives? Could lifestyle changes reduce my reliance on this drug? For example, weight loss or exercise can sometimes lower blood pressure, reducing the need for pills. Use a single pharmacy to track your prescriptions and catch potential interactions. If you notice new symptoms like dizziness, fatigue, or confusion, don't assume they're just aging. Report them promptly, as they may signal a drug issue. Susan's experience underscores that empowerment comes from understanding your medications, not just swallowing them. Resources like the American Geriatric Society's Beers criteria can help identify potentially inappropriate drugs for seniors. Take control. Your clarity and vitality depend on it. 6. Ignoring home hazards. The clutter that betrays. Ed, a 73-year-old retiree, cherished his den as a personal sanctuary. It was a cozy, familiar space filled with towering stacks of books, magazines, and newspapers, some dating back decades. Tangled extension cords snaked across the floor, and faded, frayed rugs curled at the edges. To Ed, this clutter was a comforting reflection of his life's passions: reading, collecting, and tinkering. But one fateful night, as he shuffled through the dimly lit room, his foot caught on a loose cable. He stumbled, crashing into a pile of books, and gashed his forehead on the corner of a table. The injury required 8 stitches and a hospital visit that left him shaken. What Ed had dismissed as a quirky, harmless mess had transformed his beloved den into a dangerous minefield. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, estimates that home hazards contribute to approximately 50% of falls among seniors, many of which are entirely preventable. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related deaths and hospitalizations for older adults, with over 3 million emergency room visits annually in the U.S. alone. As we age, declining vision, slower reflexes, and reduced muscle strength make even minor obstacles treacherous. Dim lighting obscures tripping hazards, uneven flooring or loose rugs increase instability, and the absence of handrails or grab bars can turn a simple misstep into a catastrophic fall. Ed's accident wasn't an isolated incident or mere bad luck. It was the inevitable result of an environment that no longer accommodated his physical realities. The aging process subtly alters how we interact with our surroundings. For instance, age-related vision changes, such as reduced depth perception or sensitivity to glare, can make it harder to spot a curled rug or a stray cord. Conditions like arthritis or neuropathy can impair balance and coordination, while medications for common ailments may cause dizziness or fatigue. Ed, like many seniors, hadn't considered how his home needed to evolve with him. His den, once a haven, had become a trap because he underestimated the cumulative risk of its hazards. What to do instead? Transforming a home into a safe sanctuary requires proactive, intentional changes. Start by decluttering ruthlessly. Clear walkways of excess furniture, cords, and stacks of items. Secure or remove loose rugs with double-sided tape or non-slip backing to prevent tripping. Install bright, motion-activated nightlights in hallways, bathrooms, and bedrooms to illuminate paths during nighttime trips. In bathrooms, add grab bars near toilets and showers, ensuring they're securely anchored to support weight. For homes with stairs, install sturdy handrails on both sides, and mark step edges with high-contrast tape for visibility. Adequate lighting is critical. Replace dim bulbs with LED lights, at least 800 lumens, and add task lighting in areas like kitchens or reading nooks. Consider consulting an occupational therapist or aging-in-place specialist to assess your home for hidden risks. For Ed, the wake-up call of his fall prompted action. He enlisted his family to help clear out the den, donating books and recycling old papers. He replaced his worn rugs with flat, non-slip mats, untangled and concealed cords, and added a bright floor lamp. Grab bars now line his bathroom, and a handrail supports his staircase. The result? His den remains a beloved retreat, but it's now open, bright, and navigable, allowing him to move with confidence. A safe home isn't just about avoiding accidents. It's about preserving independence and peace of mind. By addressing hazards proactively, you ensure your home remains a sanctuary, not a saboteur. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. 7. Driving beyond limits. The road risk. George, an 80-year-old widower, prided himself on his independence, particularly his ability to drive. His trusty sedan had carried him through decades of commutes, road trips, and errands, and he saw no reason to slow down. "I've driven for 60 years without a ticket," he'd boast. But one rainy afternoon, George's confidence was rattled. Approaching a busy intersection, He failed to notice a stop sign obscured by a low-hanging branch. A blaring horn and screeching tires jolted him as he narrowly avoided a collision with an oncoming car. Shaken but unharmed, George pulled over, his heart pounding. For the first time, he questioned whether his driving skills were as sharp as he believed. The American Automobile Association, AAA, reports that drivers over 70 face significantly higher crash rates per mile driven compared to younger age groups. In 2022, over 7,000 older adults died in motor vehicle crashes in the U.S., with an additional 200,000 injured. Aging impacts driving ability in subtle but profound ways. Reaction times are slow, making it harder to respond to sudden stops or obstacles. Night vision and peripheral awareness decline, increasing risks in low-light conditions or at complex intersections. Depth perception and visual acuity may wane, complicating judgments about distance or speed. Medications commonly prescribed to seniors, such as those for blood pressure, pain, or anxiety, can further impair focus, cause drowsiness, or delay reflexes. George's near-miss wasn't just a fluke. It was a warning sign of unacknowledged physical decline compounded by overconfidence. For many seniors, driving represents freedom, autonomy, and identity. Giving up the keys can feel like surrendering control over one's life. Yet clinging to driving beyond safe limits endangers not only the driver but also passengers, pedestrians, and other motorists. George's pride nearly cost lives, but his willingness to reflect on the incident opened the door to safer alternatives. Acknowledging driving limitations isn't defeat. It's a courageous step toward protecting oneself and others. What to do instead? Begin by honestly assessing your driving ability. Schedule a professional evaluation with your state's Department of Motor Vehicles, DMV, or an occupational therapist trained in driver rehabilitation. These assessments test reaction times, vision, and decision-making under real-world conditions. If driving is still safe, adopt strategies to reduce risk. Limit trips to daylight hours, avoid highways or busy urban areas, and steer clear of adverse weather. Ensure your vehicle is equipped with safety features like automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitors, or rear-view cameras. For those nearing or exceeding their driving limits, explore alternatives to maintain mobility. Ride-share services like Uber or Lyft offer on-demand convenience, while public transit or community shuttle programs provide cost-effective options. Family members or neighbors may be willing to assist with regular trips, such as to the grocery store or doctor's appointments. In some areas, senior transportation services, like those offered by non-profit organizations, cater specifically to older adults. Planning can ease the transition. Research options before fully retiring from driving to build confidence in new routines. George, after his scare, took a DMV driving test, which revealed slower reflexes and reduced night vision. Reluctantly, he decided to stop driving at night and in unfamiliar areas. Eventually, he transitioned to using a local bus service for outings to the community center and relied on his daughter for longer trips. To his surprise, these alternatives brought new joys. Stress-free rides gave him time to read or chat with fellow passengers. Freedom, George learned, isn't tied to the steering wheel. It's about staying safe, connected, and engaged in the world. By prioritizing safety over pride, seniors can preserve their independence while protecting themselves and others on the road. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. 8. Poor nutrition. The hunger you don't feel. Lila, a 67-year-old retiree, had always prided herself on her independence. Living alone in her cozy apartment, she'd settled into a simple routine: toast with butter and a cup of tea for breakfast, maybe a biscuit or two in the afternoon, and a small bowl of soup for dinner. Over time, her appetite seemed to dwindle, and she chalked it up to aging. "I'm just not hungry like I used to be," she'd say, brushing off her daughter's concerns. She didn't notice the pounds slipping away, the fatigue settling into her bones, or the way her clothes hung looser. It wasn't until a minor infection landed her in the hospital that the truth came to light: Lila was malnourished. The diagnosis stunned her. "I thought I was eating enough," she said, her voice trembling. But her sparse, monotonous diet had been quietly starving her body of the nutrients it desperately needed to thrive. Lila's story is far from unique. As we age, the risk of poor nutrition creeps in, often unnoticed until it manifests in weakness, frailty, or serious health complications. According to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, after age 65, several physiological changes make seniors particularly vulnerable to malnutrition. Appetite naturally diminishes, a phenomenon known as the anorexia of aging, driven by changes in hormones like ghrelin and leptin that regulate hunger. Taste buds lose their sensitivity, making food less appealing, and a diminished sense of smell further dulls the sensory pleasure of eating. Chewing or swallowing difficulties, common in those with dental issues or conditions like dysphagia, can make meals feel like a chore. Add to that financial constraints, social isolation, or limited access to fresh food, and it's no surprise that many older adults inadvertently skimp on nutrition. Yet, while appetite may wane, the body's need for nutrients only intensifies with age. Protein is critical for maintaining muscle mass, which naturally declines in a process called sarcopenia. The National Institute on Aging recommends seniors aim for 0.5 to 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight daily, higher than for younger adults, to combat muscle loss and support strength. Calcium and vitamin D are equally vital, as bones become more brittle and prone to fractures. The National Osteoporosis Foundation notes that adults over 50 need 1,200 milligrams of calcium and 800 to 1,000 IU of vitamin D daily. Other nutrients, like B vitamins, fiber, and omega-3 fatty acids, play key roles in energy production, digestion, and heart health. Deficiencies in any of these can cascade into serious consequences: weakened immunity, increased risk of falls, slower wound healing, and even cognitive decline. Studies estimate that up to 15% of community-dwelling seniors and nearly 50% of those in long-term care facilities suffer from malnutrition, often undiagnosed until a crisis strikes. For Lila, the hospital stay was a wake-up call. Her diet of toast, tea, and occasional snacks was woefully inadequate, lacking the protein, vitamins, and minerals her body craved. The infection that hospitalized her, a minor issue in a younger, well-nourished person, had escalated because her weakened immune system couldn't fight it off. Her doctors explained that malnutrition doesn't always look like starvation. It can be insidious, masquerading as fatigue, weight loss, or recurring illnesses. Lila's case was a textbook example of how poor nutrition can erode vitality, leaving seniors vulnerable to a host of preventable health issues. What to do instead? Nourish your body with intention. Reversing or preventing poor nutrition requires a proactive, thoughtful approach to eating. The goal is to prioritize nutrient-dense foods that pack maximum health benefits into every bite, even if appetite is low or meals feel daunting. Here's a detailed roadmap to ensure your body gets the fuel it needs to stay strong and resilient. Focus on nutrient-dense foods. Build meals around foods that deliver high nutritional value. Lean proteins like chicken, fish, eggs, tofu, or legumes are essential for muscle maintenance. Colorful vegetables and fruits, think spinach, sweet potatoes, berries, and citrus, provide vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to combat inflammation and support immunity. Whole grains like quinoa, brown rice, or oats offer fiber and sustained energy, while healthy fats from avocados, nuts, and olive oil support heart and brain health. For Lila, incorporating hearty lentil soups with spinach and carrots became a game changer, delivering protein, fiber, and micronutrients in a single bowl. Prioritize protein. Aim for 0.5 to 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight daily, as recommended by the National Institute on Aging. For a 150-pound person, that's 75 to 120 grams of protein spread across the day. A sample day might include Greek yogurt, 20 g protein, at breakfast, a grilled chicken breast, 30 g, at lunch, and salmon, 25 g, with lentils, 15 g, at dinner. If chewing is an issue, softer options like scrambled eggs, hummus, or protein smoothies work well. Lila discovered that blending yogurt, berries, and a scoop of protein powder into a smoothie was an easy, palatable way to hit her protein goals. Eat small, frequent meals. If large meals feel overwhelming, break your intake into 5 or 6 smaller portions throughout the day. This approach can be easier on a sluggish appetite and helps maintain steady energy levels. Snack on nutrient-rich options like apple slices with peanut butter, cottage cheese with fruit, or a handful of almonds. Lila found that keeping pre-portioned snacks on hand made it easier to eat regularly, even on days when hunger was elusive. Boost flavor without sacrificing health. Bland food is a major appetite killer for seniors. Experiment with herbs, spices, citrus zest, or a splash of vinegar to enhance taste without adding sodium or sugar. For example, roasting vegetables with rosemary and garlic or adding turmeric to soups can make meals more enticing. Lila's daughter introduced her to spice blends, transforming her once dull soups into flavorful, nutrient-packed meals she looked forward to. Supplement wisely, if needed. If dietary intake falls short, supplements can help bridge the gap, but they should never replace whole foods. A multivitamin tailored for seniors can cover basic needs, while vitamin D or omega-3 supplements may be recommended by a doctor, especially in winter months or for those with limited sun exposure. Always consult a healthcare provider before starting supplements to avoid interactions or excess. Lila's doctor prescribed a vitamin D supplement after tests revealed a deficiency, which helped improve her energy and bone health. Make eating social and enjoyable. Loneliness can sap the joy from meals. Whenever possible, eat with family, friends, or community groups to make dining a social event. Joining a senior center or inviting a neighbor for lunch can rekindle enthusiasm for food. Lila started hosting weekly soup nights with her grandchildren, which not only boosted her mood but also encouraged her to cook more nutrient-rich meals. Address barriers. If dental issues, swallowing difficulties, or budget constraints make eating well challenging, seek solutions. Soft or pureed foods, like mashed sweet potatoes or smoothies, can ease chewing problems. Community programs, such as Meals on Wheels or local food banks, can provide affordable, nutritious options. Lila's daughter helped her enroll in a grocery delivery service, ensuring she always had fresh ingredients on hand. Lila's transformation was remarkable. Once frail and fatigued, she now savors hearty, colorful meals that fuel her newfound energy. Her favorite go-to is a vegetable-packed minestrone with beans and a sprinkle of Parmesan, a far cry from her old toast and tea routine. She's stronger, more vibrant, and even started gardening again, a hobby she'd abandoned when fatigue took over. Her story underscores a powerful truth. Food is medicine, and proper nutrition is a cornerstone of healthy aging. By prioritizing nutrient-dense meals, eating intentionally, and addressing barriers, seniors can reclaim their strength and vitality. Don't skip the dose. Your body deserves it. Well, there you have it. 8 dangerous habits that could quietly dim the brilliance of your golden years, paired with simple, powerful ways to keep your health, independence, and joy alive. Aging isn't about giving up what you love. It's about choosing wisely to live better, longer. I'm Grok, created by XAI, and I'm so grateful you joined me today. So, what have you learned so far? I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below with one thing you've learned today and plan to put into practice in your own life. Let's inspire each other to thrive. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips to live healthier and stronger. Here's to embracing every moment of your journey with vitality and grace. Thanks for watching.